Because Mulayam Singh Yadav is no more. He died at the age of 82. His son, Akhilesh Yadav, announced it this morning. Over the course of the next 20 minutes, we're going to have the sharpest political minds at the India Today group break it down for you on what would be Netaji's legacy. What would India remember his political journey as? Do stay with me. First up, let me take you through the headlines. BJP leads protest after communal clashes rock Bengal's Mominpur area. Bengal BJP seeks deployment of central forces to stop riots. 38 detained so far.
हम लोग का एक डिमांड है, आप गवर्नमेंट को जल्दी एडवाइस कीजिए डिप्लॉयमेंट ऑफ पैरामिलिट्री फोर्स। वहाँ हालत बहुत खराब है और पुलिस पूरा रिलैक्टेंट है।
Big day in Uddhav Shinde's symbol war. Shinde Sena submits mace, trumpet and sword as poll symbol against Uddhav's Trishul, Mashal and Rising Sun. Samajwadi Party patriarch Mulayam Singh Yadav passes away at 82. Tributes pour in from across the country. Prime Minister expresses condolences. Mortal remains reach Sefai.
उनका जाना देश के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी क्षति है। मैं ईश्वर से प्रार्थना करता हूं कि उनके परिवार, उनके समर्थकों को ये दुख सहने की शक्ति दे।
There's more trouble mounting for Adi Purush. Legal notice sent to the producer and artist of film for hurting spiritual sentiments of Hindus. Putin chairs Security Council meet days after blast on Crimean bridge. Multiple explosions rock the heart of Kyiv. Zelensky urges G7 nations to convene urgent meet. PSU banks rescue the rupee from an all-time low of 82.68 to a dollar. Sell dollars on behalf of the RBI. The Indian currency finally closes at its Friday level of 82.32. The Samajwadi Party founder Mulayam Singh Yadav passed away while undergoing treatment at Medanta Hospital. He was 82. Political tributes have poured in since across party lines. The Prime Minister has called Mulayam a humble and grounded leader who was sensitive to people's need. Modi called Netaji a key soldier for democracy during the emergency. President Murmu, condoling Mulayam, called him Dharti Putra, while Home Minister Amit Shah paid rich tribute. He went to the Medanta Hospital, terming Netaji's demise as the end of an era. The UP Chief Minister Yogi Adityanath has announced a 3-day state mourning in lieu of Mulayam's death and full state honours for his final rites.
मैं यहाँ आ रहा था तो एक दुखद खबर भी मिली। आज मुलायम सिंह यादव जी का निधन हो गया है। मुलायम सिंह यादव जी, उनका जाना देश के लिए एक बहुत बड़ी क्षति है। मुलायम सिंह जी के साथ मेरा नाता बड़ा विशेष प्रकार का रहा। जब हम दोनों मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में मिला करते थे, वे भी और मैं भी दोनों के प्रति एक अपनत्व का भाव अनुभव करते थे।
विनम्र श्रद्धांजलि अर्पित करता हूं। शोक संतप्त परिजनों और समर्थकों के प्रति भी अपनी संवेदना व्यक्त करता हूं। श्री मुलायम सिंह यादव जी एक जुझारू और संघर्षशील नेता थे। समाजवादी विचारधारा से जुड़े एक महत्वपूर्ण स्तंभ थे।
एक ऐसे नेता जो जमीन से जुड़े हुए थे, आम जनता से जुड़कर वो राजनीति करते थे और कड़े फैसले लेने में कभी वो पीछे नहीं हटे। तो ऐसे राजनेता के जाने से निश्चित रूप से भारतीय राजनीति को अपूर्णीय क्षति हुई है। मैं अपने प्रदेश की ओर से मृतक आत्मा की शांति के लिए और दुखी परिवार के ईश्वर उनको शक्ति प्रदान करे, इसके लिए मैं प्रार्थना करता हूँ।
मुलायम सिंह यादव बहुत कम लीडरों में ऐसे लीडर थे जिन्होंने कम्युनल फोर्सेस का न सिर्फ डट के मुकाबला किया बल्कि उनके सामने सरेंडर करने से इनकार कर दिया और माइनॉरिटीज के साथ खड़े रहे, पिछड़ों के साथ खड़े रहे। और जो आज जो कम्युनल फोर्सेस इस मुल्क के अंदर ताकतवर हो रही हैं और बहुत कम लीडर ऐसे हैं जो उनके सामने खड़े होने की जुर्रत करते हैं। तो मुझे लगता है मुलायम सिंह यादव साहब की जिंदगी से हमें सबक सीखना चाहिए।
What I'm going to do is I want to cut across to Saifai. That is where the mortal remains of Netaji have reached the same place where he scripted a spectacular political journey. Saifai in Uttar Pradesh, his hometown. He is the son of Saifai. Joining us right now is my colleague Abhishek Mishra from there. Abhishek, the funeral is tomorrow, 3 p.m. But I'm sure the outpouring of grief in Saifai, one can just see that right behind you. So many people just standing.
Well, certainly, Preeti, and this is very evident with the fact that Netaji Mulayam Singh Yadav was just not a political leader or any veteran leader. He was actually the father of Saifai. And let me show you the visuals first. You can see, look at the people who have come here to see him for the last time. Not just from Saifai, Etawah, Mainpuri, Farrukhabad, Kannauj, from Agra to Firozabad, from everywhere. And the number is just increasing. There is no decrease as far as, these people are concerned. Now, what is also important, CM Yogi Adityanath has come here and he's also, paid his tribute. And at the same time, it is also very important that, cross party lines, all the political leaders have come up. They are giving their tribute to Mulayam Singh Yadav and remembering every single thing associated with him. I'm joined with some of the people from Saifai. They are the old Karyakartas as well. क्या नाम है आपका?
मेरा नाम सुधीर यादव है।
क्या कुछ याद आता है आज आपको नेताजी के लिए? इतने लोग हैं।
नेताजी के बहुत नजदीक रहा। सन 84 में नेताजी जब जनता से चुनाव लड़ाया उन्होंने, तो भारत सिंह चौहान का लड़का
अलग कैसे थे बाकी लोग?
अलग इसलिए थे कि नेताजी बहुत ही गरीब तबके को ऊपर लाते थे। जैसे उन्होंने क्षेत्र में एक होटल चलाने वाला सुंदर सिंह बघेल हुए करते थे, उन्हें मंत्री बना दिया, विधायक बनाया, मंत्री बनाया। फूलन देवी जैसी डाकू थी, उसको जो है उन्होंने मंत्री बना दिया।
आपका क्या नाम है? कहाँ से आए?
श्याम सिंह।
नेताजी के तो बहुत पुराने दौर से उनके साथ रहे। कितना आज कुछ क्या याद कर रहे हैं उनको?
हाँ, सब याद ही कर रहे हैं। क्या बताएं, क्या समझ में नहीं आते।
बहुत दुख है मन में।
बहुत दुख है। जन्मत रहे बच्चा 15 साल नहीं रहते।
Absolutely, Preeti. You just heard what they have to say. Very sad with the fact that, Netaji, and we have spoken to a lot of people here. Be it the senior citizens, be it, the youngsters, everyone, they are so much associated with not only just with Netaji, with the whole Yadav family. And when Netaji arrived, along with Akhilesh Yadav, Dimple Yadav, all were deeply saddened. And the visuals is evident enough to say how badly everyone is missing Netaji right now. And
Abhishek,
it's the last time when they all can see him. Yes.
Well, Abhishek, appreciate you joining us. We're going to continue to come back to you. Let's quickly now listen in to four-time Samajwadi Party MP, Rajya Sabha since 2004, actor Jaya Bachchan.
आप उनके देहांत को और पूरे राजनीतिक जीवन को किस पर्सपेक्टिव में देखते हैं कि हाउ डू यू सी, क्या कंट्रीब्यूशन है मुलायम सिंह यादव का इस देश की राजनीति पे?
मैंने उनको देखा, वो किस तरह से पार्टी के लोगों से मिलते थे, बात करते थे। एक सबके साथ उनका एक पर्सनल रैपो हुआ करता था और जो जिस भाषा में बात करते थे वो उसी तरह जवाब देते थे और एक बहुत आत्मीयता थी उनके अंदर पार्टी वर्कर्स के साथ। कभी कभी मैं उनसे पूछती थी कि नेताजी, आपको इन लोग कुछ भी खड़े होकर मीटिंग में बोल देते हैं, आप कुछ इनसे कहते नहीं है, थोड़ा बहुत डिसिप्लिन होना चाहिए। तो वो मुझे हमेशा कहते थे, आज मैं जो हूँ इनकी वजह से हूँ।
हाउ डू यू डिफाइन मुलायम सिंह एज ए नेता? किस तरह डिफाइन करेंगे उनको अगर शॉर्ट में कहा जाए कि?
आई थिंक द मोस्ट generous, most humane, and a great strategist.
I want to cut across now to some of India's, and we're lucky to have them on India Today, sharpest political analysts. For those of us who wish to cover politics, we usually followed Akhilesh Yadav. What you read about Mulayam Singh Yadav is in textbook would be the icon or one of the big icons of India's socialist movement. But let's speak to some of those who've tracked his trajectory in his career. Joining me in the studio this evening is Rajdeep Sardesai, consulting editor, Rahul Srivastav, national affairs editor, Javed Ansari, senior journalist. All three of you have closely followed the trajectory, the career, the politics of Netaji, Mulayam Singh Yadav. And Rahul, let me begin with you. How would you pay tribute, or what would be the legacy of Netaji if you had to encapsulate it in very few words?
You see, there are few leaders whose journey starts with you and ends with you. Ram Janmabhoomi and Mulayam Singh I met in the same year, 1989. And if you see Mulayam's career, today a BJP can say Congress Mukt Bharat, a Mamata Banerjee says that she has defeated Congress, TRS and others. 1989, go back, rewind, and Mulayam Singh Yadav was the one who served the first eviction notice on Congress. It was in Uttar Pradesh, and remember, he was a backward in a world dominated by the upper caste, the Congress party, and UP was undivided, 425 seats, 85 Lok Sabha seats. And at that time, Mulayam Singh Yadav, though led by people like VP Singh and others, Bofors aided it, the fact remains that he came to power, and after that, he wrested away the Congress's vote bank. And that hurt the Congress, I think, like never before, that in 1990, when he ordered firing twice, later October and early November, on the Kar Sevaks, he became Mullah Mulayam. And you see at that time, Mulayam Singh Yadav, till 2022 election, when virtually 75% Muslims have voted in UP for Akhilesh Yadav and the Samajwadi party. He came to politics at a time when Mandal was happening, Lalu Prasad Yadav in Bihar, and Kamandal was beginning to happen. So he was at that moment where you had Mandal and Kamandal were dictating politics. And today what you have in Narendra Modi, who has shifted the demographic base towards backwards and the socially marginalized, and is talking Hindutva. So today's politics owes so much to Mulayam Singh Yadav and 1989.
You know, Rajdeep, you've covered politics at a time where, most of us would envy. You've been up close and personal with the biggest interviews. You've seen their trajectory. How would you remember Mulayam Singh Yadav?
I will remember Mulayam Singh Yadav as a leader of incredible stamina and a genuine mass leader. This term mass leader is used very loosely in the times in which we live. Someone wins 1 or 2 elections, we say mass leader ban gaya hai. A mass leader, I believe, is someone who is actually connected right down to the grassroots with the workers of their party. And I've seen it in Mulayam Singh and in Sharad Pawar. The ability to know the names of every panchayat leader of their party. And Uttar Pradesh is a very large, complex, complicated state. But when you traveled with Netaji, he would do 10, 12, Rahul told me he did 19 rallies once. And I was exhausted. And I was much younger, but I was exhausted. It was hot, excruciatingly hot. Netaji was loving every moment of it. And every place that we stopped, he would speak to the people who came to greet him by first name. And according to me, that is a sign of a leader who has come up through the ranks, who understands what is the importance of connecting with the last man, the worker, the panchayat, the Zilla Parishad Samiti. And if the Samajwadi party even today is robust, despite the fact that the BJP has become the dominant force in Uttar Pradesh and beyond, it's because of the work of Netaji, because he put his heart and soul into building a party. So that's how I will remember him, as a leader who truly was a mass-rooted leader, came up through the Mandal revolution, transformed dramatically the politics as a result of Uttar Pradesh, overturned the upper caste dominance in a way, started with Charan Singh, with the Ajgar formula, the Ahir Jat, Gujjar, Rajput formula. Mulayam followed him and eventually went his own way. He betrayed a lot of his mentors, but he was very clear that he wanted to build his own party. And you've got to give credit to someone who is a builder and a creator of a political party.
You know, I'm going to ask the both of you one anecdote of your meeting with him, but I'll pull in Javed Ansari as well, because, you know, Mr. Ansari, I remember being at a press conference, a cub reporter, and I remember him addressing you as Javed, something which Rajdeep says, remembering the first names, speaking with you. You followed him very closely. Once again, I'll ask you the same question. What should India remember of Mulayam Singh Yadav's politics today?
The courage of his conviction to stand against the tide and take tough decisions. Examples, what he did in the Ayodhya movement in the 90s that Rahul was alluding to, both of us were there, we were eyewitnesses. He gained and suffered as a consequence. He nominated somebody like Poolam Devi to the Lok Sabha. It was a tough call to take, not very popular, a decision that was not very popular with the literati, yet he went ahead. And he was the poster child of, along with Lalu, of the Mandal revolution. He brought about a seismic change in the way politics was played out in the Hindi heartland, particularly UP. He changed the caste calculus. Earlier it was upper caste dominated, Brahmins, Thakurs, Kayas. Now he turned it on its head. You talked of a personal anecdote. I once traveled with Mulayam Singh Yadav. I was in his chopper, and we seem to have lost our way. The coordinates that were sent to him were all wrong. So twice he landed, once at a BSP rally and the next time at a BJP rally. Mulayam Singh got very angry. He told he says, "You utha ke pheko." And he told him, "Look, 10 miles to the right is a railway station, fly there." So we went there. He says, "Now follow this railway track." So we followed the railway track. He says, "Now, after a couple minutes on the left-hand side, you'll find a water tank. In my time, it used to be colored white. It now must have turned black, but nonetheless do it." So we went to the water tank. He says, "Iske baad ye baag hai, and wahan pe rally hai." And lo and behold, that's exactly what happened. We went there, and like Rajdeep and Rahul said, he knew most people by first name, and he was a great host. You went to his house either at Kalidas Marg or even when you toured with him. Mulayam Singh Yadav didn't eat too much, but he ensured that he plied you with glasses of lassi or milk. And after some time, you know, there was just, we were not used to that kind of food. And I kept telling him, "Netaji, ye nahi hoga." He said, "Bahut badi galti ki, shahar chale gaye, gaon mein rehte, to hajam ho jata, ek aur piyo." So that was Netaji. He could take tough calls, and he meant a lot. He stood by his people. And today I can say with certainty that there are many homes, there will be many homes in Uttar Pradesh where food will not be cooked today. I was speaking to an MP, a 7-time MLA, 3-time MP of his party, and I said, "When was the last time?" He just couldn't complete his sentence. He started bawling on the phone. And this is a 70-year-old man. That's the kind of thing. He stood by his people through thick and thin. And that's not what you can say for a lot of leaders.
Well, you know, I want to bring in the both of you, Rajdeep and Rahul, and I want to ask just this one question before we close the show. Is a personal anecdote, because Rahul, you know, he might have been an adept Pahalwan, but he was a wily politician as well. You know, even if you go back in history, there is a lot of things even I can't wrap my head around in what he did.
Oh yes. Mulayam was so good at it that his right hand won't really know what his left was doing. He was like a typical Pahalwan who will feign something and do something else. But, you know, our journey was, you know, it was a very different start to our journey in 1989. And the stories about him, you know, about how he told, you know, it shows how politics was at one time and how this politics of subaltern. Today, Narendra Modi owes it to the people like Mulayam, because if they hadn't done what they did at that time, there would have been no BJP where it is today. Why I say that? Imagine a young man who goes to college, does not have a second set of white pajama kurta. There is no electricity in his village. He has studied in a school run by the village sarpanch. Finally goes to college. And there is a nala, there is no road, and he has to cross a barsati nala, a monsoon drain. So what he does, he wraps his clothes in a plastic bag, crosses the drain in his underwears, and then goes and has a bath at the tube well, and then goes to college. He has only one old bicycle his father gifted. So what he does, he fears that it may get stolen. So he puts it on his shoulder, climbs on top of a banyan tree, and on the highest branch, he chains it up. I asked him, why do you do it? Maybe somebody can take it. He says, no, there is nobody as fit as me. He starts teaching in his school. The owner has a telephone. Mulayam has never seen a telephone. 60 villages. He was the first graduate in 60 villages of Yadavs. So he's sitting there. The owner says, why don't you answer the call, Mulayam? Mulayam doesn't know how to lift the phone. He abuses him and says, Mulayam, phone uthao. He lifts it. The other side, the person is saying, hello, hello. Mulayam thinks he's saying hello. After 4 times, Mulayam says, tum hello, main kyun hello? And he bangs the phone down. That was Mulayam Singh Yadav. You can imagine that this may sound like an anecdote, but that was the story of from where the origins of Mulayam Singh Yadav to where he became the wily politician who beat Charan Singh, Ajit Singh, Hemati Nandan Bahuguna, Devi Lal, VP Singh, and Lalu Prasad Yadav and others, and even challenged Mulayam Singh, Mayawati's, created Mayawati in fact. 93, if there was no alliance with Mayawati, there would have been virtually no Mayawati. BJP virtually held by Mulayam Singh Yadav, because if there was no firing, the Ram Janmabhoomi agitation wouldn't have been the same. I think a lot of politicians should today sit back and think what Mulayam contributed to their lives.
Yeah.
Let me quickly take off from where Rahul Srivastav left, because he tells you of the Mulayam Singh Yadav who had never seen a telephone. I saw Mulayam Singh Yadav later in the 90s at Amar Singh's house in a very different garb. He still came in his sort of dhoti kurta and all, but you know, they were being served all around them were all the celebrities had come from Bollywood. There was Sri Devi and there were actors there. The liquor was flowing in the room, and you know, those were the days when Subrata Roy Sahara was also a very important part in a way of the Samajwadi Party Parivar, if I may call it. And moment Mulayam Singh came, there was silence for a moment. So surrounded by Neta, you know, in the late 90s, surrounded by all these celebrities there, the moment he appeared, very short of in height, but you know, still a commanding presence, complete pin drop silence. And then you realize that, you know, how Mulayam Singh had moved in a way from Sefai to now being among the bright lights of Delhi. And he was drinking something, and I wondered whether it was, you know, whether he said, nahi, orange juice pee raha hu main. So it was supposedly orange juice. I will give him the benefit of doubt. But, you know, you could see that Mulayam had come a long way, for better or worse. Because I think somewhere, the moment he realized that he needed resources to keep the party going, to build the party, I don't think Mulayam Singh was quite the Samajwadi or the Lohiaite that he started his life with. You know, he was, I think, inspired by Lohia, but by the end, he had become almost a prisoner, dare I say, of the kind of politics that Amar Singh represented. But very clear, he was the boss. Amar Singh may have well told the world, you know, I am the one who controls Mulayam. But right till the end, Mulayam was the one who would call the shots. Amar Singh was more than happy to tag along.
See, I think he wanted to mainstream the party. That's why he used Amar Singh. But something else happened. There was a dilution. But I'll tell you, like Karunanidhi, I think Mulayam Singh Yadav mainstreamed the opposition in India, in North India. There is nobody else who has done it as well as Mulayam.
You know, I'm going to let it be there, but Javed, I'm going to pull you in for exactly 20 seconds. I've run terribly. Okay, we don't have Javed Ansari anymore, but Rajdeep, you want to come in for just 20 seconds and tell us when possibly Netaji got very close to being the next Prime Minister, and that didn't happen?
You know, that was the moment. The fact was that Harkishan Singh Surjit had put his name, and it had been virtually decided in 1997 that it would be Mulayam Singh Yadav. Harkishan Singh Surjit then left, went to another, had to go to a central committee meeting. The likes of VP Singh then connected with the likes of Lalu Prasad, all the old Janata Parivar, and effectively vetoed Mulayam Singh. And then comes the ultimate lucky draw winner, which is I.K. Gujral, who was ironically sleeping in a room in the same
and he had no clue.
And had to be woken up by Jaipal Reddy to tell him, guess what? You're becoming the Prime Minister.
Well, that's the game of politics. I appreciate all three of you for joining us. You can catch all three of them in exactly half hour on the top of 8 p.m. But best to hear it from them on what would have been the legacy, or is in fact the legacy, of Mulayam Singh Yadav. Thank you for joining us.